Well, but now I have a follow-up questions. So you know this, I interviewed you like I think we spoke back and forth maybe 70 session, if I remember. And many did not see this is a value, right? So even what is your advice to some of our students? I keep telling them you have to give me interview with me, sit down with me. They do not want to give because they're shy. They are shy. So what do you advise them? Because you keep saying interview is the key, because to get a job, right? We talked about so many things, but you have to pass the interview, right? We have the interview questions, you have the interview answer, and we have the every coaches take the interview, all every student individually. Some student takes like 4 weeks. They want to be perfect before they give the interview. But our goal is push, just start something, make mistake. You make a mistake 5 times today, tomorrow 4, day after tomorrow 3. In some point, zero mistake, you become a master. So what your advice to students? Giving less interview, number one, taking too much time for the mock interviews, means all the video mock interviews, and they're not willing to give me interview with me because they're scared. Why is that? Or is it is it something they should improve, or what they should do?
Oh, you should definitely improve that. If you are hesitating to do these things, or are you even asking for a job, you are digging your own grave if you're not willing to practice. Listen, you are lucky you have someone who's willing to do mock interviews with you. You don't have anything to be shy in front of someone here who's trying to help you improve, who is trying to give you feedback. This is the most important step, I would say, and throughout this entire program after learning all your skills. Um, Take advantage of this. Listen, I know what's going on in these companies nowadays. And the market is tough. People are really going to grill you in interviews in different ways. They're going to say it very sweetly, politely, but they're asking for something else. You will not understand. You will have to practice. The first step you have to take is just to start. Doesn't matter how much you know, how much you don't know. You just have to get in the habit of speaking. You have to be familiar with what it feels like to be in the spot, in the hot seat. People can ask you anything. They can ask you any random follow-up questions. You will never be prepared enough, which is why you should simply just start. Only experience will teach you and help you get better. Actually, interviewing, I would say, is more about being a better speaker and communicator than trying to know everything all at once. It is impossible to know everything all at once. You have to the more you practice speaking, the better you'll be able to give up better answers and be a more convincing tone and seem like a promising candidate. That is more important than knowing everything all at once. If you're taking too much time and you want to be perfect before a mock interview, you're just wasting your own time and playing yourself. It is a mock interview. You don't have to be perfect. The best way to approach this is, yes, every day consistently brush up your answers, practice with yourself, get enough knowledge about different tools. Don't try to have perfect answers or perfect memorizing answers, because just being honest, in the interviews, they can sense when someone has those kinds of answers. They want conversational answers, and that you can only get if you're practicing that conversation with someone. I've heard one of the other senior engineers he was interviewing, and he said, okay, this person was very smart, but the way she said answers, it sounded like she was reading a
Wow.
book. She sounded
Robot.
like reading a, yeah, she's like sounding like she's reading a book. And then sometimes they wonder, why did she sound like that? Is she reading off of something? Is she using Chat GPT? Why was it not a natural, organic conversation? You cannot study to interview like that. You have to practice that conversation with someone. So please, please, please take advantage of practice interviews. Don't be shy. You have to overcome your shyness, because you're trying to sell yourself in the interviews. It's not about being a know-it-all. It's not about being someone who has the perfect book answer for everything. You have to be strong at speaking and how to effectively sell yourself. Because a real life interview, they'll ask you a question and you're not prepared
Campaign.
for.
This is what the campaign again.
Constantly, everything, you're just selling yourself. You're being your own advocate. You're campaigning yourself. And even if you have to, you'll be asked questions that you probably have no idea about. How will you know how to navigate that question? You have to have that practice. And Shibul sir will test you, like he'll throw a random question at you. Let's see how you answer that on the spot. It's better to get that practice now than be on an actual call, which is hard to get these days. And then you mess up on the call. You'll have a few calls probably that where you will flop. Not every interview call will go, but everything is experience. The more you do it, the better you get at it, and eventually you know the gist of how interviews go. You're not as nervous anymore. You know how a conversation goes in an interview. You had someone give you feedback on what to improve on. Then you get comfortable, the higher chances of getting a job it gets.
Great. Yeah, I hope everybody hears that out.